So those three questions are the main trauma healing questions
Okay.
that get people to talk. I've asked two. This is the last one.
Oh, Lord. What's this last one then?
What's the hardest part? What was the hardest part of the whole situation?
Of the whole situation?
No, of what you just talked about.
I think the hardest part was realizing that, I didn't know when I was going to ever go back home.
You can't run from you can't, and you can't hide. Like you say, you could hide in a big old house and everything, but that hurt. What hurt is hurt. Yeah. And the ones that hurt us the most are the ones we love the most. Yeah. Yeah. Always, man. Always.
4624. Man. It was Controllable. We had some good times too, though. I can't just say it was all bad. Seemed like a long time ago, 4624. Let me take you down this road. I just want my story told. I just want to break the mold. Trauma healing unfold. Seemed like a long time ago, 4624. Let me take you down this road. I just want my story told. I just want to break the mold. Trauma healing unfold. It was me, my pops and my mama, my little sis in a 3-bedroom, too bad. The holy rich seemed to have it all together.
Wow.
So I'm out here in a city, which is Jacksonville, Florida, Duval. But I'm originally from San Bernardino, California. So everything that I knew and loved, with the exception of you, Mom and Pops, was in Cali.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm over 3,000 miles away.
Yes, for sure.
And I'm in a city where I'm living with strangers. And I have to depend on them to look out for me, to help me with homework, to help me, guide me along the way. And it was a lot of uncertainty because it's nothing like your own mom or dad taking care of you. Other people that get paid to take care of you, that's different because they don't have to. They can choose not to.
Wow.
They can say, I had like my first foster home that I went into. Loved the family. She was so sweet to me. But she decided that she had her own kids, and her husband at the time didn't want her to have foster kids no more. They wanted to concentrate on their own. So she told me one day, I love you, and this breaks my heart. I hate this. We're gonna have to send you to another foster home. So it was a lot of uncertainty. She sent me to her mother was a foster parent, so she sent me there on the north side. Miss Thomas, God bless her soul. And it was just a never-ending cycle of me going from home to home. I went from there to, I went to go live with my dad. I went to my dad from there because at foster care, they try to place you with your relatives. So I went from there to staying with my dad. That was very disappointing. I met him for the first time when I was like 11. Never met him before in my life until I was 11 years old. I thought he was a white man. Funny story. I remember being at a foster home, and they said, your dad is on the phone. I was like, really, my dad? I picked up the phone. He was like, hi, Lamont. How are you doing?
Oh, my God.
I was like, I'm fine. He was like, I'm your father. I just want to let you know you're going to be living with us. You have a sister. Sound like Obama a little bit or something. You have a sister and your stepmom, Pat, and we live here in Long Beach, and we're going to pick you up from the airport tomorrow, okay?
Oh, wow.
Didn't know what he looked like or nothing. So when I got off the plane, somebody just grabbed me with a beard. Looked like Gerald Levert. He had a beard, a shag, and a fade. There was a lot of hair going on. I was like, who is this? And he was a little chunky.
Oh, my God.
He was like, hey, Lamont, how you doing? I'm your dad. Come on, we're going. And it's your sister. And just scooped me up. I was like, man, I didn't know if I was finna be abducted or what, because I didn't know what he looked like. So I was like, it looked uneasy, but whatever. But that situation didn't work out because his wife was, the story behind that. It was a new mom and said that every time they went to college together, every time she saw me, she saw my mom's face and she just couldn't do it no more. So they sent me back. Actually, I asked to go back to foster care because I didn't feel like they wanted me there. Nobody wants to be somewhere where they're not wanted. So I told my dad, I said, hey, I'm getting the vibe that y'all don't want me around here. You already got your own family. I want to go back to foster care. And I thought I was going to be met with resistance. He was like, okay, I'll get your tickets tonight and I'll have you on the plane in the morning.
Wow.
No pushback, no nothing. And I went back to foster care. So I went from that. There was just a lot of back and forth. I was in like 12 different homes.
So that the hardest part was
just uncertainty, just not knowing what my next was going to be, just not knowing, feeling like people really didn't care about me, just to be real. Now, this part you don't know. So I went through a lot of different emotions. I went from being sad to being angry. Those emotions are real close.
Yeah.
So I went from being sad because I wasn't in the home. Then when I felt like I was being passed around from home to home, I went to being angry. And I went to being like on some Tupac. I don't care. I hate my family. They hate me.
Wow.
So for a minute, I didn't like y'all. Because I felt like y'all betrayed me.
Wow.
You were little.
Yeah,
you didn't, but you was, you know what I'm saying? Like
I'm
I
part
felt
of the
like,
collective family unit. Yeah.
I can't stand now because they got me out here. Nobody cares about live or die. Everybody can sleep well at night. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I got to fight all the time. I got to always protect myself if somebody is messing with me in school. I ain't got no big homie to tell. I'm the big homie. I got to fight. And then when people find out, I never really told people in school that I was in foster care because Jacksonville, they going to use that as a weakness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, so I turned angry and it turned into something else. And it just numbed. It really numbed my emotions. And I really was on one. I ain't really care.
So this is teenage years.
Yeah.
Like early, so it goes from 10 till how long were you in foster care?
Until I aged out of the system, until I graduated. I actually graduated out of the system. Now, to Mama's point, she tried to get me several times. The system wouldn't allow her to get me. After a while, I was like, shoot, I'm just going to be in. I just started talking like I was in jail or prison. I was like, man, I'm going to go and do my bid. I ain't got nothing but a couple more years. Yeah. Ride this out. And then when I get out of here, then I can start my life. And I can control my life. I was dependent on a lot of people. As a youngin', you dependent on people. But when you get older, it's all on you. If you fail, that's on you, bro. Or sis, or whatever. You got to work harder, do whatever you got to do. But as a child, it's a different dynamic because you're dependent on your caretaker or your parents.
Right. So 18, and that's what I remember. The time in between, I do remember the visits. Like we're going to visit your brother and how that could be normalized.
Yeah.
Like we're going to visit your brother. Like it was a part of the weekend activities.
Yeah.
And different things like when you got a job at the landing. I remember I was so proud of that. I was like, my brother works at the landing. And he's like a manager, so he could get us food is what I was thinking. Little sister vibes.
Big cap. I wasn't no manager. I was a bus boy. I was busting them suds in the back.
Right. Not in my mind. Yeah, and then I do remember your graduation. And on that day, some kind of way, you had to get ready and put on your cap and gown.
Yeah.
And I just remember saying, you're going to really do it at the house? Like you came to the house on graduation.
Yeah.
In my mind, you got ready there. Is that how it happened? Did you get ready there?
I got ready there. I got ready there, but I don't know if you remember, but I was forbidden to come to the house.
Yeah, that's why I
was looked at as Judas because I betrayed the family.
Right.
So that was the narrative on that. So I wanted to come, but I wasn't able to come to my house. Isn't that crazy? So I lived in the city with my mom and my sister and stuff, and I couldn't even go to the house. It was just a weird time.
Right.
But yeah, I was excited too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
can.
saying? To come back, and
You actually got ready there.
I did.
That was such a big moment. And at the time, our house dynamic was different because it was just me and mom at the house at the time.
Yeah. I mean,
Things had changed.
things change. And again, when you're dealing with marriages and people's marriages and all that, people, they're quick to say, you should have left, or she should have left and did this or whatever. She tried to, and she was unsuccessful. She reached out to my grandma, which was her mom, aunts, different family members, homeless shelters. I remember us going there. He would always find her. He would come to the job and all that. It was one of those things. She didn't have a lot of support. So what do you do when you don't have support? You don't have money. Some people say, hey, we could have left and lived in the car or something like that. There's a lot of stories like that. Maybe that could have been an option, but that wasn't the story.
Right.
But I can honestly say that she still poured into me. When I signed up for the military, she was right there. When I got married, she was right there. A lot of my important moments, she's been right there talking to me. When I was in homes or different places I shouldn't have been, she was doing stuff where she could have gotten in trouble, taking me away from homes and stuff. And they were saying that they were going to call the police on her. And she said, I don't give a damn. She was still riding for me. She still had to pay child support, too. So they didn't just take me from the home and she got off scot-free. So she was still parenting as much as she could. We have a great relationship to this day. So I forgave my stepfather. I forgave her. It's too short. It's just too much energy to carry, just having animosity towards somebody. And I didn't mean to say that I hated you. I didn't hate you. I hated the situation, and I just felt like, damn, I'm out here in this world on my own.
Yeah.
Don't nobody really, you hear the terminology, don't nobody owe you nothing in this world. But as a child, I felt that.
Right. Early,
it wasn't a good place to be, so.
I do have a couple of more questions.
Okay.
One is, whatever happened to that family?
Which one?
That accelerated this process.
I don't know, man. I mean.
So here's the thing, because I work in the schools, life coaching, middle and high schoolers and young adults, and mentoring, and just being there as a safe space through a program that I'm contracted through, my company's contracted through. I wonder about the follow-up. It's like you put these things in motion to help, because I know the intention was to help.
Right.
But then not realizing the process that is going to take place from that point on.
Right.
And how you felt from that point on. So I just wondered if.
Yeah, it wasn't no follow-up. After that day, I never saw or heard from them again. So it wasn't any follow-up. I just went in the system and just had to navigate through that. Back then, man, it was like, it wasn't a lot of foster homes. They tend to put you in a black family because I'm black, of course, in case y'all didn't notice.
Yeah.
And it was not a lot of black foster parents there. Now, here's the deal with foster care. Just like anything else, like police officers, like teachers, any type of real estate agents, or any type of professionals, there's good ones and there's bad ones. A lot of the foster parents at that time were about that dollar. They were about that money. And you could tell that. So they were flipping kids, basically. And you would feel that. I was in a foster home where they had their grandchild and their kids in the home, and there were separate meals. They would serve their grandkids and their children different meals than the foster kids. You know, so it was some disparages there.
Further isolating you.
Yeah. So that's why I got my job early. I was like, man, I ain't dealing with this. So, you know, I'm a take action type of person.
Yeah,
I'm
you
not gonna
kept
just
it
wait.
going. You kept the resistance in whatever situation was trying to come against.
Absolutely. So my plan was to graduate early. I was trying to graduate in 10th or 11th grade because I had all my credits because I was going to summer school every year in Upward Bounds and all that. So I got all my credits. I had all my credits by the end of my 11th grade year, but Raines wouldn't let me graduate early. So I had to work in a work program So my senior year, I ended up getting out of school at 10 o'clock. Took like 1 or 2 classes and then worked. But that was my plan. But I went into the military. So I always had a plan.
Right. And then met Phyllis. And y'all, our producer, your wife, my sister-in-law.
Yeah. Met her.
She joined the journey.
Yes. So we got married in 1991. We had our first child in 91. Went to the military in 91. 91 was a busy year. But I actually met her in really kindergarten. We met again. Yeah, I was snitch. She got me in trouble. That's a whole nother story. That got me expelled from kindergarten.
We'll deal with that one later. So, last question. But I'm glad it's worked out since then. 32 years strong, right? Is it 32? 33 years. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
So, what does healing from here look like?
Healing from here looks like just identifying triggers. I think life is about managing triggers and trying to be a better person, accepting criticism, listening, which is hard for me, listening and changing, trying to make a change for the better. A lot of times we don't want to hear ugly things about ourselves from people that we love, but you have to give it a listen if you love them, whether you think it's true or not. Right. You reflect on it. Again, I'm going to say default again. We go to our default because that's just our way. Yeah. But sometimes our default, we got to decode our default. Or we have to change our default because it don't be hitting on nothing. It ain't getting you the results that you want. So you got, what they say, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again.
Expecting a different result.
And expecting a different result after you do that. I just really want to get better spiritually, mentally, physically, just the whole gamut. Because you just get tired of being the same with this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? Who you are sucks sometimes. Yeah. So you just, maybe even getting counseling for the first time ever, like for real. Talking to somebody and talking through issues to see why I do the things that I do. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's healing from here.
That is.
And we will bring on our counselor friend who will be a part of the community too, to just help work through issues. Somebody very real and very knowledgeable. Dr. Mignon, she'll be on here.
I love Dr. Mignon.
Yeah, Dr. Mignon is the truth. And just making, it seems to me like in hearing all this, that you're also owning your own story.
Yeah, you have to over time.
Like you're owning your story. Like by sharing this with us. Yeah. Like I even was able to, you talked about listening. Listening is such a huge part of trauma healing. Because being a safe space for someone to share, active listening to them, going in the moment with them is healing all in itself.
Yeah. You know what I do different a little bit? Which is crazy. So if I get into a disagreement with, I feel it's going to be like spouse. So instead of picking up the phone to call, sometimes I'll text her. Yep. And as I'm texting her, I'll text out some words. And I'm like, I start to process it, but I start deleting some of the words. Like, why are you saying that's stupid? But as you seeing something, as you say it, you can't delete what you done said unless you say, I'm sorry about what I said. But if I text it and you look at how stupid the text is, I found myself just, let me delete that. Man, it's crazy. You know what? I ain't even going to send this. It's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you just process stuff differently. Right. Because a lot of times we say and do certain things that we can't unsay or undo after you do it. Right. So that's just one little example, but just, I'm not perfect. I ain't gonna sit up here and act like, I got it all figured out. I didn't went to counseling. I don't. I don't have it all figured out. I'm still trying to figure it out day by day. But I think that forgiveness was very pivotal in my growth. When we went to the reunion and I was able to forgive Pops. You know, I had a conversation with Mom, told her I loved her, I forgave her. I think that helped me a lot. Music. So me write music and stuff really helped me through coping with a lot of adversity and stuff. It still helps me today.
Right.
And the music bug I actually got from Pops.
Right.
Because that's all he played was music. We woke up listening to music. We went to bed listening to music. It was like he was a DJ or something. That's all we had was records and all this stuff. And he used to make us dance, and we had talent shows at the house.
For sure.
I thought I was Michael Jackson.
For
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you thought, I don't know who you were. It was like, you gonna let your sister be? Get him, Lamont, get him.
Yeah.
Like it was. So a lot of times with these stories, trauma healing, we always talk about the bad about the person, and we just demonize them, and we just beat them into the ground, right? That ain't. But I don't want to tell that. I want to tell the whole story. I know family members gonna be watching, like, why you doing that? This is not to demonize anybody.
Healing
It's our story, and we're trying to help people heal. And I will never try to demonize nobody that can't speak for themselves. He isn't here any longer, you know, unfortunately. So I would never.
But he shared a lot with us when we intentionally, I wanted to make that point about the forgiveness. When we went to the reunion, it was intentional. We didn't stumble on it. So forgiveness is an intentional action that comes from you and is without strings attached.
Yeah. And
we had to learn that, because you're intending to forgive and say your piece. And in your mind, you might say, I want to get an apology. And we didn't get well, I'm sorry about that, y'all. But we did.
We got tears.
We got an apology through our dad sharing his story that we'd never heard.
Yeah.
The backstory to show how his trauma really was just carried on.
Yeah.
And to show his perspective of events, because everybody has a perspective of events and what occurred. And make no mistake that the hurt is not singular. There was a collective hurt that our family experienced as a result.
Yeah.
And it takes now the act of healing and intentionally making a choice to face the issue, to own your story, to speak about the effects on you. Those intentional healing kind of moves that you and I are making are personal.
Yeah.
But the collective is also impacted. So a lot of times we wonder, a person who did all this and they don't even care. And that's not necessarily true. Their care might be not how you think they should care, but the collective is affected.
Yeah. But
there were effects all throughout the home.
And I think, I mean, if you think about it, the way things blew up so quick, it's embarrassing. So a black man, a black family in the 80s that got that thing on them, you know what I mean? Like, they got a mark on them. That's not a good look. Yeah, at the time, he worked at the post office. He was in the military. Mama was an educator. Like, it was rough.
And they were
it's
progressive.
rough for black people now.
Yeah.
But it's back in the 80s, it was rough.
And they were progressive.
Yes.
Setting the tone for 4624. We were among the first to integrate the neighborhood we were in.
Mm-hmm.
The family who came to your aid, so to speak, was not a family of color. And so we don't quite know all the dynamics around the situation. But we know in those times, this was the stage that was set.
Man, we lived in a brand new house.
Brand new.
3-bedroom, 2-bath,
had
brand
our own
new.
bathroom. And that is something my dad told us during our forgiveness journey.
We had our own room.
He said, man, y'all had y'all own room, y'all own bathroom in this neighborhood, basically, that was a neighborhood to live in, that was right down the street from a school he went to as being the first class to integrate the school.
Yeah.
So he had passed by that and dreamed of having family in this and establishing
It's
something more for the culture.
It's crazy because he wanted to adopt me. He was trying to adopt me, and my dad blocked it. So people don't understand. I cried when he passed, and people was like, "Man, why you crying? He did all this stuff to your family. You was in foster care and stuff. Yeah, he messed up. He did. You know what I mean? He made a mistake, but that was the only father that I knew. He taught me he cut my hair. He taught me how to ride a bike. He was gangster with it. You know how he taught me how to ride a bike, right?
I do not, but I could think back to how I got taught. How were you taught?
I got a bike. I was excited about it. It said Gold Rush on it. It was brown. It had a little gold on it. And he was like, he pushed me. He said, no training wheels.
Yeah, that was one.
Push you on the bike and say, ride, boy. Ride. You better not fall.
That was it.
And so I'm wobbling. You know what I'm saying? But I learned.
Don't fall.
But if you think about all of the people that are successful in the world, they talk about their fathers and stuff, it was similar to that. You know, like they grew up hard, so they gave it like they got it.
Right.
So to them, that wasn't abuse. So Pops was like, man, I ain't abused. Because in his mind, it wasn't abuse to him.
Yeah, because
compared to what he had been through.
That's what I was going to say. And that's why this is so near and dear to us, 4624 Healing from Here, because essentially our dad had moved into another area, dreaming, doing things that the culture had not seen. But his 1750 had followed him to 4624. And so the cycle just continued. And for us, we want 4624. Every number has a story, but we want the story now to be one of healing. And I just got that revelation just sitting here. Like, Dad had to be the example for us to say to people right here, right now, even with all the good intentions, and even those who especially have intentions, to nod their head to the culture like, we can do this, we got this, that if we do not deal with the trauma that has affected us, we will essentially be carriers of that into the newness that we're trying to project. And it's a situation that doesn't have to continue, and it's not digging up old stuff because it's still there. And so our whole thing is to get conversations started, healing, give resources to that, be there for you to talk about that, so we don't have to keep carrying that.
Right.
Dad was a carrier.
Yeah.
With good intentions.
And guess what? So are we.
Yeah.
Maybe not to that extreme,
right,
but in some aspects, so are we.
Right. But we've intentionally decided that at this moment, we're going to heal from here.
Exactly.
Whatever comes out and presents itself.
Absolutely.
To needing it.
So TikTok, we see all these stories about domestic abuse, triple murder, suicides, and all that. That comes from somewhere.
Oh, yeah. It's a number attached to it.
It didn't just...
Yeah.
It didn't just happen. It was brewing.
Yeah.
We like to say the word toxic. We like to talk about narcissist and all that. That's real. All of that stuff is real. So when you see red flags, instead of thinking that it's sexy, or they don't play about me.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Or how they are. This stuff is carried. This stuff is transferred. This stuff is not a representation of our highest self. And that's not to be preachy, but we can demand more. We can choose to heal. And then we can be open to, I have to say, letting God in to do his best work in that area.
Amen. Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Letting him in. And I thought about, and now I know we have to go right now. Gosh, why do we have to go? This is such a good check-in.
It is.
I thought about how you said we had God in the home, and that kind of took me back because the Lord's Prayer was one of the first things I learned. Mom gave me a Bible every year. Dad was a deacon in church. all of these kind of things. And
Sunday
a lot
school
of people,
teachers.
yeah, see that and will be like, see, even with all that, we weren't exempt. It never says that we would be exempt from some of these cares and tears of the world, from these traumas, from these generational cycles. But
Yeah.
for us to be sitting here right now and establishing the fact that, yes, we have traumas, but now we are healing from here, shows us that God's hand, God's presence has never left us.
And
So turning away, it doesn't even matter.
Nah, it
Because
doesn't.
he's not going to leave you.
Nah, he's
Even in
not.
those situations. So a lot of people see that.
Yeah.
Be like, see, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what we're saying. But then we're also saying 40-something years later that he's still right here with us.
He is. He is. He is. God is
Healing
still
from
able and
here. Still healing.
Yep.
So right where we are.
Absolutely.
So that's all I have right now.
Man, this was a great check-in. I appreciate doing this check-in.
Yeah. No, you can say podcast. It's just in
okay.
my mind
Okay.
checking in.
Everybody got a podcast. To me, this is
We got to check
This
in.
is
on
different.
people,
This is a
man.
different-
Like, yeah, this ain't just.
it be the quiet ones. I'm one of the quiet ones, right?
Right.
But I do a lot of thinking and I do a lot of reflecting and I be in my head a lot. It's a lot of quiet ones that work through their pain.
Right.
That's the ones you got to watch.
Yeah. The overachievers. You see the stories like they had it all and now they're not here with us anymore. I wonder what went wrong. And we both do our thing. But for me, I tell you what my strategy was. You
Yeah.
got to stay safe.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you got to watch those people too.
yeah.
Because they try to stay safe in any way and they still don't deal with the problem. So
Yeah.
we going to heal from here.
I'm going to say one more quick thing.
Go ahead.
I'm a runner by nature. You know me.
Mm-hmm.
I run from my situation.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in relationships, whether it's business relationships or personal relationships, you can't run from everything.
Right.
So it's just time. It's
From
time
here.
to go ahead and heal from there.
Flat-footed.
Exactly.
And I'm going to talk now because there were a lot of years I couldn't.
There you go. There you
So
go.
no running. I'm talking. Yeah.
Bam.
I'm so awkward. I'm like, I don't know. We don't know what to do.
You
All
good.
right.
You
All
good.
right. All right. We'll check in with y'all later.
All right, sis.
This is my story. What's your story? Turn the camera on you and tell your story. He brought you to it, can bring you through it. He had his hands on my life, and God won't he do it?